welcome back to the UKLC. I've had to just catch my breath. I was sat down. That was a very, very exciting first game of our round of 8 with Fnatic losing to Enclave. Enclave now find themselves in the draw for tomorrow. They'll be in one of our semi-finals, but we must move on. We're going to get past that Fnatic woe, and we're going to move on to the next matchup, which is going to be Phelan taking on Barrage, which is going to be a pretty close game, I think. Let's take a look at the rosters, and we'll start off with... I'm just going to guess, because my production haven't told me. I'm going to guess Phelan. Yes, we got right. Guess. There we go. 50-50. Eragon, Soft, ADM, Achu, and Blaze. So we've seen this roster, and they have performed really well. I think Soft has been a standout player for them. I think ADM's played very well too.
It is a change in the bot lane, though. It will be Blaze's debut, and Snuggly is not playing, so we'll have to see how that shakes things up. Blaze less experienced and competitive, I'd say, than Snuggly, but a rookie talent, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs and how well he synergizes with the Chew. And now we'll be having a look at the Barrage roster.
Let's have a look at the Barrage roster. They've undergone a few changes since their inception. They're going to run with Artorias, Scudzy, Cromel, Jakamaka, and Bartiono. Bartiono back, fully fledged. No Nutri. Jakamaka coming in. I don't know if Nutri's still on the roster. I'll have to ask.
I believe he is.
Yes, she is, yeah.
I believe she is, sorry, but is currently not playing. They're starting Jakamaka.
Yeah, starting with Jakamaka. So it's this roster, I think, has got a lot of potential, especially from like Cromel, who I think is a really standout player. I think also Artorias. Like, I have seen a massive growth from Artorias. And if you go back 2 years ago, like I remember when Vedius used to cast Artorias. That's like way back when. He'd always used to say Artorias. I think he was on a team with Artorias, Vedius, and he was like, yeah, like Artorias will either int really hard or he'll like win really hard. I've seen a massive evolution from Artorias. He did a massive solo queue grind. He got himself to Challenger last season, put in the work, put in the effort, and he's really come out a very solid top laner.
I think he's ascended. He is no longer just Prosper's brother.
Yeah, he's no longer Prosper's twin brother. He's Artorias, his own thing.
Who is still Prosper's twin brother, if you didn't know. But it looks like
we need to let that meme die at some point.
Only one of them is left in the tournament. His twin brother is fallen, so maybe this is the opportunity.
Well, we'll see, because Artorias has got a very powerful roster, like we see, but he's going up against Phelan, who have looked one of the better, newer teams coming into the UKLC.
I mean, they've had some great performances, and they've had some not so great performances. They had the one against M&M that had a really solid draft, but at the same time, it didn't feel convincing. They were miles ahead in kills, but their team cohesion seemed off. It just seemed like they were a bit lost in the mid to late game. So I want to see how that if they've managed to fix those issues.
Was Snuggly the shot caller for that team?
I'm not 100% sure. He was definitely a voice on the team. I think there was
one of 5 voices, yes.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I say because Soft had Soft spoke a lot in the early game just to say things there. I believe that Snuggly and ADM spoke a fair amount. But yeah, I think Snuggly was a big voice. It'll be interesting to see how this transition to Blaze changes things up. And this might well be why they've made this change, because they did seem a bit lost. And again, I'm not pinning that on Snuggly. I don't think it's down on him, but something wasn't clicking, something wasn't gelling. And then also the thing that doesn't really come down to players at all, it was the draft sometimes seemed a bit
odd, yeah, maybe.
Bit odd.
They had one draft that was great, I remember, then one draft that was kind of mediocre, and it didn't really work out for them. Let's take a look, just before we jump into the picks and bans, as you can see coming up on your screen, the dog vote has gone up onto Twitter on @VeilVP UK. I believe the choices are Noodle the Poodle, Cookies, Orcs Jr., or Dog Champ. I'm voting for Dog Champ.
That's a pretty good one.
Dog Champ. Yeah. So you've got 4 options at LVP UK. If you want to take part in this integral moment of naming the LVP UK dog, you need to go over to LVP UK on Twitter, smash that follow button, like and subscribe, but most importantly, slam your vote down into that poll that we've got going on over the Twitter.
Absolutely. And seeing the picks come through very quickly, and I am not surprised at all by this first pick. Blaze is I don't want to say Thresh one-trick pony, but you know how you hear about people who they originated as something?
They ascended as a Thresh one-trick pony and then blossomed into a multitude of supports.
Yes. So for Blaze to focus on that Thresh does not surprise me at all. But obviously that does put you in a position where you can counteract that.
It's not exactly a power pick like in the start. Well, we have
I mean, it can make a lot of impact.
Nala.
But it comes down to how well you play.
It's not called Nala. Don't worry, the dog's not actually called. I ruined it. I've ruined the guys. Dog Champ.
Oh, you just killed the vote.
It's fine. It's fine.
I don't think
we're renaming the LVP UK dog. Do you think we just found a dog for the street with no name? You know?
Yeah.
Come here. come here. Hello. Hello. You like...
What do you think of the picks?
Let's have a look. What do you think of the picks?
I agree.
She's assessing. She's assessing. Orcs, pick up that object. Go for this if you think that Phelan are going to win.
She's unfazed. Now, if you
She's
think
unfazed.
Barrage are going to win, go for it.
Also unfazed.
Stone Cold.
If you think it's going to end up in a draw, which is what you've said, wow, the first ever League of Legends draw predicted by our LVPU dog, LVP UK dog, that we're going to rename via a vote.
There's a draft going on. I completely forgot.
Yep, there is a draft going on.
So, crucially, interesting enough, they decided to go for the Jace and the Nocturne. The reason they did that instead of going for, say, Nocturne Galio was because since the Thresh was already knocked in, they didn't really think the Galio was going to come through. So they secure that really strong Nocturne Galio combo. They have the Jace, which can be flexed. Wasn't quite as convincing last game, but he's staring at the door.
You carry on.
I'll carry on. You go deal with that. Anyway, so we see the Kai'Sa coming in and the Olaf. Kai'Sa has a lot of scaling. It gives some strength to that bot lane. And the Olaf didn't have the most impact in the last game, but we've seen it have a fair amount before. So be interested to see how well it plays off. And I think a Chew on this Kai'Sa is definitely a good pick for him.
I'm going to replace myself with
Okay. Oh, we're going with this now. Ban's coming through. Barrage are focusing on the jungle, which is interesting because that makes them... that makes me think that they're not convinced this Olaf is a jungler, okay? And I have seen something rise in success, and it is top lane Olaf with Conqueror. So that could be a potential top lane Olaf with Conqueror. I know that actually Aragon's been playing it a fair bit in solo queue, so I think Barrage suspect it may be themselves. And they're not convinced as well that this is a Jace top lane. They know it could still be a flex, and so they ban away the Riven and the Orianna. They're not sure on either. We do see Jakamaka get his hands on this Tristana. Had good performances on it before. Now it goes over to Phelan. So we see the LeBlanc and the Elise. So yes, will be a top lane Olaf for Aragon. They have a really strong mid-jungle 2v2 with the Elise and the LeBlanc. That is like a Season 3 sort of matchup where there's tons of CC, and it comes to what Krumel is going to pick to sort of withstand that pressure, or if it's going to be something going over to Artorias, who obviously we don't know where it's going to go.
I think the Lissandra would make a lot of sense. It's a pretty solid matchup to the LeBlanc. If you ever get all in, you have that panic button of your ultimate. And now it's going to be Artorias playing the Jace into Aragon's Olaf. You need to be so careful about not getting hit with those slows because you can get engaged upon pretty heavily.
You can hammer him away.
You can hammer him away.
If he does get on top of you, but still
pre-ult, for sure.
Can be a bit dicey. I think for me, if you look at Barrage, it's very much what can they do with their level 6s? You know, they have the Lissandra, they have the Nocturne, they have the Galio.
It's a big level 6 spikes.
Yeah. Whereas for Phelan, it's what can you do before that? The Olaf, the LeBlanc, the Elise, very strong in the early levels. And I think Phelan really want to get the game going as soon as possible. Barrage are happy to wait a bit longer. And then when things get even later, they have this Tristana in the backline that's going to pump out a lot of damage. They have a ton of CC. They have great team fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a crucial thing. And I think team fighting might get a bit dicey for Phelan later on, which is why they need to get this early lead and continue with a solid mid game.
I feel like the Tristana will tear you apart when she gets to 4 items, no matter who you are with the range. And
yeah, well, there's no one really tanky to soak it because the Olaf's going to go like a bruiser build, and in the late game, he's essentially just an unCCable beefcake, but he's not a very tanky beefcake.
Beefcake, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we'll be able to cut through that.
Oh, we have. I think we have. Is that Raisins on the back screen there? Is Raisins joining us? That was a really smooth production. We didn't see anything happen on the back of the screen there. Very smooth.
Can you hear it? Can we hear him?
I can't hear Raisins right now, but I'm going to wait until production tells me. Wait, can we hear him? Oh, here we go.
Hey.
We got him. We got him.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, so you just killed Fnatic. How'd you feel?
Yes, we did. I took a little bit of a breather because the adrenaline's pumping. That was a crazy game. Yeah, no, my heart's still going, to be honest.
That was incredible. Honestly, we kind of thought maybe Fnatic were in a position where they might be weaker, but that pick that you brought up, I mean, Orcs correctly said, you know, he thought it was going to be an AD carry Nico pick. Is that something that you'd been planning for Fnatic specifically? Have you been just working on that in scrims?
Not really, no. I mean, this pick, this was not specifically for Fnatic, and like scrim-wise, we haven't really used it at all.
I think it's a very new pick. It's like
it's
very
new,
fresh.
Like
so I think
few days, so.
It was a lot of confidence for Kevin to say, I'm willing to play this. And I think the whole composition, because we have Governor on the Yorick, which is something he's not traditionally played, a lot of confidence. And then it was a sort of composition where, like, you didn't have any true tank. I mean, yeah, you can argue the Galio, but obviously support your squishes. So it was sort of like a high-risk, high-reward composition. And I think... Wait, is he just vanished? Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, well, we just can't see you. It's fine.
Production's just memeing us, don't worry,
yeah,
mate. It's fine.
Right, okay.
So, how did you feel coming out of draft up against Fnatic? Were there any concerns from your side, or were you like, this is exactly what we want to deal with them?
I mean, after draft, I think that Nico threw them off. They probably thought it was Nico mid, because if you look at our comp and you look at their comp, I don't think they had very many win conditions. They had no engage. Gnar is really situational, hard engage.
Yep.
They had Jace poke, which we used Nidalee to heal, and they had an Ezreal scaling AD carry. And we have Nico, which is anti-dive, so Jace will never be able to go in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Gnar will never be able to go in.
It felt like their win condition was either split or poke, and the Nidalee really negated that poke aspect. So
they had one win condition, basically was Shikari, like had to 1 versus 5 that game. So.
I got to give credit to Gov because, you know, we kind of said he looked like the weaker link in that particular game, but he stood his ground like against Shikari over and over again. And I give massive credit to Governor. He weathered the storm from Shikari. Shikari was really that massive win condition for Fnatic, and he never let him get to a position where he was going to be able to take inhibitors, going to be able to take towers. And you guys reacted so well on the map. It just felt like you were firing on all cylinders. Did you feel like in that game you were just playing some of the best League of Legends your team has played?
I think we finally showed what we can do. We've had a really rough few weeks in terms of scheduling. We've played against the #1 or #2 team in every single week. So I mean, we've been doing, and it hasn't stopped. Yeah, exactly. And we've been doing well against them.
Yeah.
So we finally actually showed that we are good enough to take these teams on. We've played against much better teams in scrims and shown. It's really nice to show actually in the game. And as for Gov, he was cosplaying a punching bag that game because they were throwing a lot of stuff at him. Olaf coming down just to kill the Yorick ulti was pretty rough. But,
yeah.
I mean, he played his role really well, and he took the blows for us, and we had the rest of the map locked down. So
yeah, I think that has to be my point, was that it felt like everyone played their role. Although obviously the MVP was given to Kevo, I think everyone had a role to play and they did it well. So, but thank you very much for the interview, Raisins. Congratulations on your win, and excited to see you continue that streak tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, we are going to jump into our next game. We are ready to get into the Phelan versus Barrage matchup now. Very nice to hear from Raisins because I personally haven't seen Raisins play before this for around 2 years. I think he was focusing on studying and things like
Last
that.
time was I remember I played against him when I was still a player.
When you were the UK champion.
No, it was before I was a UK champion. When I was a mere rookie, and I remember we went to LAN and he was there and we had a nice chat. So
I really like Raisins.
Nice guy,
he's such a lovely guy.
It's nice to see him come back and having a great performance that, I'll say it, a lot of people had question marks about Enclave, but they've sort of proven that they might be unfounded.
Yeah, I think so. I think Enclave looked incredibly strong in that game. But let's not dwell on what we have seen already. Let's move on to the next game. Phelan versus Barrage. We are 50 seconds into the game, and we'll see how this one shapes up. Both teams have shown potential, and this really, I feel, is going to be a close game between two evenly matched teams.
Absolutely. I mean, the question is going to be, where does the pressure come from? Because we've seen great stuff from Artorias. But this matchup in the Olaf, if Aragon gets on top of him, he's going to just cut him up.
Yeah, I think, and Aragon has been, for me, one of the standout players for Phelan in general. I think he's looked incredible. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, you saw the performance against XL on that Urgot. But this is a bit more of a Feast of Famine pick, and Urgot's never going to be not useful. But Olaf can become very useless very quickly. But it's similar for this Jace, so I think it's a very volatile top lane matchup. Mid lane maybe a bit less. And then I'm interested about this bot lane because we saw the Galio overextend in the game from Fnatic and M&M and get punished. And so this very likely could happen again if Bartiona steps up too far. But likewise, last game we saw the Thresh get punished when it stepped up too much. We're seeing some heavy trades already.
Yeah, level 1, Blaze goes for the Flay, but Bartiona responds very nicely with a positive trade for Giacomacca and Bartiona on this bottom side of the map. And things looking pretty spicy already in that side of the map.
Absolutely, and that's one of the downsides. The tended priority for a Thresh is to go for that Ancient Coin. Makes them very squishy. If you do get locked down, can be vulnerable, especially with that aftershock.
You've played with Scudsy, right? He was on your roster when you were playing on XL.
Yes.
What's he like as a jungler? What is Scudsy's main strength in terms of what he provides?
Scudsy's very communicative. I think he'll constantly ask how his lanes are doing. And he likes to apply a lot of pressure around the map. I think sometimes his sort of weakness is that sometimes his decision-making isn't always the best, but I think he's always an asset to a team because he'll never stop talking, he'll never stop contributing. And that's why I think now that he's come back to the game after finishing his master's degree, with more focus, if he can get his individual play up, what he offers to a team in terms of sort of a communicator as a team player, I think he'd be an asset to any roster.
I think that's what I've always heard from Scudsy. Very, very vocal in terms of keeping the spirits high as well.
Yeah.
What I will say,
he's a good lad.
He's a good lad. Oh, that's a nice hook from Blaze under turret. Bartiono forced to flash really nicely timed. That's a big taunt, big kill. And that is Jakamaka taking first blood.
And Blaze just overstepping. Thought he had Bartiono, but that is the issue. Once the aftershock runs out, you're very squishy on that Thresh. And this was the roster swap Phelan made. They put Blaze in, he got his signature champion, and he's 0-1-0 at 3.5 minutes. Not the best start. We're going to see what he can do to bounce back from this.
Achu forced back Jakamaka and Bartiono, keeping on the accelerator in this lane. If you want to vote on Twitch chat, we do have a Twitch chat vote going on right now. Phelan or Barrage. Let us know who you think is going to take this game, and we will show the results a little bit further on into the game as Eragon starts to throw down those axes. And again, Artorias, this is another question mark that we have. Artorias playing something like Jace. He does have to match up against a very tough early lane matchup if Eragon can get on top of him with those axes.
That's the thing, is he has phase rush. Jace can create a lot of space, but you have to play around that. If Olaf gets in a melee range for a long time, he can absolutely murder you. But crucially, look at the mana on Eragon. Artorias is nearly full, right? And Eragon, I'm not even sure he has enough for one axe, let alone for follow-up. So it's a dicey situation. And now, Scudsy's actually making his way top lane. He's going to try and sneak in that bush and make a gank happen. It's going to be very quiet.
It's going to be very quiet. We're hunting Olafs. As we, I think he's trying to bait, maybe it was Artorias trying to bait Scudsy in.
I think he's just helping with the shove now, so.
So Scudsy, Artorias can back off here. Happily take it back in this situation, and Eragon's going to be able to clear under wave.
Gives a slight favorable advantage. We've seen Eragon doing pretty good in CS, and credit to him. He's made this pick, which is, again, it's seen a rise because of Conqueror, but it's not exactly standard. We're not going to see this every game today, I expect. Well, we haven't already. But it's something that he's been playing a lot, and he's managed to get a CS lead already. We're going to have to see what happens when potentially the level 6 could be the point where you're no longer able to create that space for Artorias, because crucially, Jace doesn't get much from his level 6.
No, Jace gets absolutely nothing, almost. He gets a slight buff to the damage that he deals when he changes form, or the reduction in resistances that he does when he changes form.
So pretty lame.
Yeah, not a great spike. Jace spikes much earlier than that. And
I mean, crucially for Jace, I feel like it comes down to what items you pick up, whereas with Olaf, levels are massive. And that's why I feel like when it hits that 6, Artorias has to watch out, but...
He's gone for Cull. Artorias has gone for Cull.
I mean, he seems like he's confident farming up. The big thing is that Eragon waited so long to recall that, yes, he had a CS advantage. He managed to pick up a lot of items, but he sort of missed out on this opportunity to punish. And he actually has used his TP to get back to lane. So, does mean that Phelan without that on the map.
Can Scudsy go for an early enough dragon? Can he get the pressure from his lanes? That's a nice lockup from Cromel onto ADM. Doesn't choose to go for the ultimate, though, as the stun comes onto Scudsy. Scudsy does manage to block that up, and in goes onto the Elise.
The Lantern, can they ward it?
No, they've got it. That's a good rotation from Blaze to get Soft out of that situation.
You know what? I'm going to say Scudsy should have used the pink ward there. He plays the pink ward on the Lantern, no way he gets out, but...
Soft still had flash. Soft still have flash, yeah.
Pink ward probably with the flash, yes, but good moves from Blaze.
Oh, has to flash in, careful. Cromel roots him under tower. Aggressive from ADM, and Cromel outplays.
And that is the reaction I'm having right now. ADM felt like he could find the damage, find the play, but it wasn't there, and Cromel manages to turn things around, which is exactly what you need, because if LeBlanc starts to get far ahead, things can get dicey for the Sandra, but he's doing solid right now.
Barrage off to a great start here. Artorias, okay, I want to talk about this Cull. Not something that you see on Jace's, especially ones that are looking to go for this pure penetration route with the Ghost Blade and the Dust Blade.
Yep.
What do you think Artorias is going to be building up to here? More of a sort of a basic attack, traditional AD carry focus?
No, I think he's still going to be going towards that sort of penetration build, but he might favor something like the Black Cleaver, which is going to be pretty effective against Olaf and make him a bit bulkier. I mean, the crucial thing with the call is that if you back with a small amount of money and you feel like the lane's not interactive, because realistically, Artorias doesn't want to jump in on the Olaf, ever.
No.
Right? And there's not much you can buy to make his poke that much better, so he just wants to play back. And Blaze misses out on the hook there. It was a really good heroic punch coming out from Bartiono. Perfect time and dodge away from the hook. And it means that the time's wasted by Soft, so...
I'm not sure this is a great opportunity for Scudzy to ultimate. He was hovering around the top side of the map, but Aragon, he seems to have those spidey senses instilled in his play and happy to let that wave shove into turret. And Scudzy now... this is a little bit like Twisted Fate when you play the Nocturne. You've got this ultimate. The more often you use it, the more often it comes off cooldown, the more impact you can have on the map. So as soon as you hit level 6, you want to be looking for an opportunity.
But crucially, the big thing is, as soon as you use that ult, it's like you've lost your jungler.
True.
Because you no longer have to play with that threat. And now, yes, Aragon played safe away from that, but now, if you look bot lane, a Chu has to be like, wait, what if Scuds is here? What if he decides to ult in and they go for the play? And so there's always that level of concern. If you use the ult badly, I just don't think it's worth it at all. So I think it's better to ensure you have a good scenario.
All right, so we have a complete, well, almost 50-50 split between Barrage and Phelan. Barrage 50.9, slightly ahead in terms of Twitch chat votes here. And I think that's reflected in most of the analysts' thoughts on this particular matchup. It is a pretty
Back to
even...
50-50.
It's a pretty even game.
Tied.
It's a tight game between Barrage and Phelan right now. Although Barrage have taken the early advantages and have actually worked up an almost 1.2k gold lead.
Bartiono and Jakamaka are going for the player. Chu's walking up.
Oh, there we go. There's the taunt onto a Chu. I think the basic attack didn't quite land, although he's going to go down to the Ignite and the Blast. Here comes Scudzy. And he's going to get the kill, or at least Jakamaka. Well, no, Scudzy picks up the kill, and that is a really nicely timed gank onto the bottom side of the map for Barrage.
Perfect. They caught him when he's unawares, but now Artorias might be in trouble top.
I think he might be dead here.
You'd be right, but he managed to get the kill back on Aragon, and that is the crucial mistake they made, is that Aragon took tower aggro, and in a dive with an Elise, who should take aggro first?
It should probably be the Elise.
Yes, because you can repel up and drop the aggro. Aragon are unable to do that, and Barrage winning out across the map. They get 2 kills bot lane, and they get that kill top, even though it's a 1-for-1. And yes, you're right. Crucially, in that engage, Jakamaka actually autoed a minion, which meant you have to flash to kill a Chu, but a Chu was so low, they had enough damage to finish him out.
Blaze is going to... Is he going to ward the Dragon Pit? That's the... Oh, he's going to ward the Dragon Pit now, for sure. He must have just seen that Olaf Q come through... sorry, the Nocturne Q come through, and Scudzy actually not even healthy enough to take that down, so he's not going to get the solo Dragon kill. But the initial rotation has already come out. They're going to send Jakamaka and Bartiono to the top side of the map, despite not taking that first turret, and now going to try and pressure Aragon.
Yeah, I think they expected to get the Cloud Drake, but I think irrespective, this is still a good move because a Rift Herald is going to be more valuable than just a Cloud Dragon. And it means that Artorias, who was playing a bit dicily in that lane matchup against Aragon, he's now just on wave clear duty, which is completely fine for Jace, as you can see from the accelerated shot blast.
Yeah, he's very happy to sit there. He has to be so careful that he doesn't get hooked in by Blaze. Aragon also a significant amount of CS up on his opponent right now, so Artorias is kind of playing from behind right now, just looking to use that cull as a way to maintain some kind of gold relevancy.
Looks like Phelan going to recall and match lanes, so they're not happy with the switch, not happy with the 2v1 situations, so a Chu and Blaze going to head up top side, and Aragon going to head over to the bot. And you have to imagine both teams going to focus around this top side a lot. Both these AD carries, late game skill AD carries.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And Infinity Edge actually already finished up for Jakamaka, which is a nice little spike. Can Cromel get another bit of... Yeah, he can. He can get that tower plating, which is a pretty solid piece of gold in his back pocket.
So much. And the confidence to go for that, I mean, that's the strength of Lissandra with Aftershock, because you're just not that scared of the LeBlanc. And it means he gets just a massive amount of gold, which is really going to put things in the favor in the mid lane. And crucially, if a LeBlanc falls behind, he's not that great.
Scudzy now, I think they feel that when Olaf is on the wrong side of the map, they feel pretty confident to go for these global objectives. I think most of them kind of mainly concerned with the Olaf impact in these mid-game teamfights or these early to mid-game teamfights right now.
Well, crucially, because of Chu turned up mid lane late, and because you saw Cromel shove him, turned up top lane late, and you saw Cromel shove him mid in, they had the lane pressure. So Phelan might try and contest this, but without numbers, Krumel's coming in.
Krumel is going in, looking to get the jump onto the Thresh. He's going to go down very low. Scudzy now trying his best. Does get caught by the box. He's by himself. I think Scudzy does get a pull in onto Krumel. He's going to get away with the Galio ultimate, trying to knock them up. There's teleports coming in left, right, and center. Eragon on the backside with Scudzy in no man's land. Chu is caught. I have no idea what's going on in this fight as ADM jumps in. Somehow Barrage still alive in this fight. Jakamaka trying to get the final auto onto ADM, will not be able to do so, but what on earth happened there?
A very chaotic fight, but Barrage come out ahead. They find the right targets, and they manage to cut down the right players. It looked dicey, but this is the power of Barrage's composition, is that they have the Lissandra who can buy so much time. They have a lot of mobility between them, and it was just well played by them throughout. It felt like Eragon came in way too late, and that was a real downside to it, because he is quite strong right now, but had no impact.
Yeah, really just didn't get into that fight. And as soon as he was teleporting in, the fight had kind of already been broken up. He'd have had to have run 1v5 into the rest of the grouped up Barrage roster. And that might have been the problem for Phelan. They split off in 5 different directions, couldn't really capitalize, couldn't really jump in on a fairly low health set of Barrage members. And that is going to be another small advantage taken by...
I mean, not even small. It's pretty significant.
It's pretty significant now. They've built up plenty of small advantages, though, to build a 3k gold lead, which is pretty good for 13 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to look at the item differentials. I mean, Artorias picked up 2 kills there. Oh, no, 1 kill, sorry. But he is in a great position. He's caught up in terms of CS. Now more on par with the Olaf. And then look at the Tristana. 302 has the Infinity Edge in the Zeal. The Kai'Sa just can't ever trade auto attacks with this Tristana because you'll just lose outright no matter what. And they're going to start this Elemental Drake, a good one to pick up at any point, but things are not looking great for Phelan because we said they have to make these champions snowball. You want the Olaf ahead, you want the Elise ahead, and you want the LeBlanc ahead. And right now, none of them are looking too hot.
Barrage looking very solid. Jakamaka on, I would say his classic AD carry pick. I'd always kind of associate Tristana with Jakamaka, and he's got that. He's 302. He's been involved in 5 of the 7 kills on the map so far.
I've got to give so much credit to him because he was a sub for Barrage, and originally it was not thought he would get that much playtime. It seemed like they'd committed to Nutri as the main roster player, but due to some feelings that Bartiona had that he felt he played better with Jakamaka, he got moved in. And then there's a lot of questions because Jakamaka is someone who's been around for a fairly decent time. He's been at, like the Insomnia tournaments, but never really had a chance on a really strong main roster. And when you look at Artorias, Scudzy, Krumel, these are veterans of the UK scene. And so people look at the bot lane of Barrage to be potentially the weak link, and they have really stepped up. And Jakamaka, gonna credit Bartiona as well, but Jakamaka just consistently looks like he's one of the stronger AD carries in the league, despite a lot of people not saying he would be at the start of the split.
Yeah, he's 302, and he is looking to continue that trend in this game as they have the Rift Herald pushing down onto the second turret. Big commit to the top side of the map from Phelan, and with a Tristana, this could be a 2-turret take, potentially even looking for a 3rd charge.
I mean, yeah, they can get a 3rd charge out. There's no reason not to. This is a really good push from Barrage, and Phelan just underestimating the pressure. And this is going back to what I said. They still look lost on the map.
Yeah, Artorias stopped the backs of both the Elise and Eragon on that Olaf on the top side, so that's going to be 3 charges. Huge, huge damage on that bot side of the map. A massive gold swing again, 5k now picked up. They're going to rotate directly to mid lane because the rest of Phelan went to defend bot, and another turret is going to be picked up by the Barrage monster team right now, firing on all cannons, and they're going to back off.
It's just not a good look for Phelan because they've had some good performance before, but this is definitely not one of them. And I mean, yes, they've looked lost before, but they are really struggling in the early game against a lot of people said this should be an even matchup. And I think coming into this, we said this should be a close one, but it's not. Barrage just steaming ahead, and with a composition, I'd argue, is going to be easier to execute and scale better into the late game. Look at the aim difference between the AD carries. That is not pretty.
Nope, rapid fire cannon finished up by Jakamaka. Very quickly accelerating to a late game Tristana build right now. And not even a first item completed for a Chu. Chu and Blaze have had a very rough laning phase. Admittedly, Scudzy has put good pressure down there too, but I think Blaze just kind of threw away a bit of an early, any kind of presence in the lane with that hook play that didn't quite work out for him.
Well, crucially is that Blaze died in a 2v2.
Yeah.
And then a Chu died in a 2v2, and yes, Scudzy came in to get the other kill on the back of that, but at the end of the day, you should not be dying 2v2 against, I'm going to say it, Barrage's bot lane are seen by many as the weak link, okay? And they are proving us wrong, but you still should not be in a position where you're dying 2v2 to Barrage's bot lane. And yes, I'm going to definitely credit Jackamak and Bartiono for stepping up, but at the same time, I have to ask, what are Chu and Blaze doing where they let it get to this point? Because right now, this game is very well going to be decided by the AD carry difference.
Well, that's Olaf going to get immediately put onto the sword. And Jackamak, I don't know what that flash was about. Maybe that's just a bit of a tilt flash. And the taunt actually goes on to the Elise.
They might have got
Scuzzy jumps over. That's a big engage by Cromel. In comes the Galio. I think this is going to be clean up city for Barrage. And they're going to get another double kill onto Jackamaka. ADM does get the kill onto Artorias, but that's not the side of the map that we're concerned about. Barrage should be able to get another turret.
And this is what frustrates me about Phelan, is you see ADM make a solo kill onto Artorias. I know these players have potential, but they just seem lost. And they get punished there, Aragon caught out, and you can see the AD carry distance is amplifying even more. But in that team fight, Jackamaka was a monster, and he will continue to be. 5-0-2 now. This Tristana is going to be unstoppable, and when you look at the bot lane difference, that's really where I'm
yeah, it's been the story of the game, I think.
0-5-0 for Phelan's bot lane compared to the 5-0-2-0-0-6 of Barrage. They've dictated the pace of the game. And they've really made things happen, and it's frustrating because Aragon, yes, Olaf is going to take over the game and scale really well, but he actually had a good lead over Artorias, and you can see Artorias had a shaky game. You know, he had a good TP in, but ADM's managed to solo kill him as well. It just feels like the problem with Phelan is his potential, but it's not being realized. And Barrage, they are very much realizing, and I think the crucial thing is that I keep hammering on this weak link point, but Jackamaka and Bartion are no longer the weak link, and it shows that instead of dropping down to their level, Barrage have elevated them to the level of the veterans of their roster, and now they really look like a well-rounded out squad. I've
been impressed with Jackamaka. I've seen Jackamaka in the past and kind of said, well, he's a mediocre AD carry.
Yeah.
I never really felt him to be, you know, on the likes of some of the AD carries that we have in the UK, like Deadly or Xmati. I've always felt that Jackamaka is just, you know, he's okay. He'll fill a role. But I've been thoroughly impressed with the outings that I've seen of Jackamaka in the UKLC so far, and really looks like he's grown as a player over the course of the last year or so especially.
Absolutely, and I think this is the last game anyone can say they're the weak link of Barrage, because they are proven here they are not.
No, well, they're the strong link. They're the link that's holding this game together with
Absolutely.
a 950 gold bounty on Jackamaka as well. 5k gold lead still in favor of Barrage, with the Baron spawning in 30 seconds, the next Drake to be Infernal. This is a lot of power play that Barrage can utilize on the map right now, and I just don't even think, if it comes to a strict team fight, there is no way that Phelan can win.
They have to find a pick before the fight. Crucially, it's going to come down to ADM. He's farming well, not as well as Krumel, unfortunately, but he's decent in terms of gold. You saw him get the solo kill onto Artorias. This LeBlanc is still fairly powerful, does have that Luden's power spike. I like how I say farming well, but he's behind a lot of, whatever. He's still doing decent, okay?
The point stands. He's doing okay.
Yeah.
He still has...
And he's a LeBlanc. It's a LeBlanc in mid-game at 20
Yeah.
minutes. He's going to have some burst potential, but you have to find it, because if you don't kill Jackamaka, I just don't see how they win a team fight. And the other members of the team are so much harder to kill, because Scuzzy's going to have that spell shield. Kumel's going to have that Glacial 2 himself ult. You have to kill Jackamaka, and
Jace is never going to be in a team fight anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, this is, then you've got the protection of Bartiono, and Bartiono has been stuck to Jackamaka like glue this game.
As he should be,
well,
and fair play to him.
A big difference from what we've seen from previous Galio's, a little bit like Prosper, who kind of went a bit more aggressive. Bartiono has said, well, I know Jackamaka's my win condition.
And even in the last game, we saw Raisins made that mistake where he ulted away from Kevo. I don't think Bartiono is going to make that same mistake. And yes, Enclave went on a win, but that was a bit of a dicey situation. But right now, Bartiono is saying, Jackamaka, I will protect you with my life. Yeah, he will be the guy he's only going to ult Jackamaka. He's going to taunt on Jackamaka. He's going to make sure nothing can harm his Jackamaka. And speaking of being hard to kill, we now have a GA on Scud. Oh, didn't get that blue buff. Good attempt from Al.
Good attempt.
Crucially, that GA from Scudzy means he can go in without too much concern for his life, because he is essentially just going to create space for Jackamaka to pump that damage. And Blaze and Soft, what are they doing
they're
here?
By themselves, and Scudzy's going to pull the trigger straight onto Elise. A great taunt. That is a double kill for free, as ADM going to be forced to back away. This is a free Baron with Olaf on the bottom side of the map. Nothing they can do about it. Barrage get a free objective.
I mean, it was good moves from Barrage to capitalize, but why did they feel they could just push up when they knew the Lissandra was on the flank? It just has to be a mistake. And now Aragon could be in some trouble as well. Yeah, it looks like Artorias looking to pull the trigger onto Aragon, take him very low. Aragon trying to fight back, but Artorias knocks him away. The final basic attack will do it.
as Artorias gets a solo kill. Everything on the side of Phelan tilting left, right, and center as the Baron goes down. Barrage opened up a almost 10k gold lead. This doesn't feel like there is a way back for Phelan.
Yeah, this really does not look good for Phelan. Again, I'm looking at ADM. He is their only saving grace. He has to somehow find a chance to one-shot Jakamaka, but it's really not looking good.
Only saving grace, and he's still 2,000 gold almost behind his opponent.
I mean, it's just because LeBlanc has a lot of burst.
Yeah.
So if Jakamaka doesn't have a defensive, there is a potential for him to find a combo, but you really have to catch Barrage sleeping. I don't think it's likely, but that is the only thing they can hope for. It's just that there's an overstep by Jakamaka, and just as if to make it worse, he's picked up a Phantom Dancer. That shield's going to make it even harder to shut him down.
Yep, Lissandra also working towards the Zhonya's, which is going to make her harder to lock down, even though she was already pretty hard to lock down. And Barrage now, as a unit, can probably just force things. They can 1-3-1, they can force things as a 5. It looks like they're going to commit to the 1-3-1, although on the bottom side of the map, we do have to be careful. Caramel is by himself versus Blaze. 3 members, actually.
And he's just waving them off. He's not phased, and they're going to push down mid.
That's a massive mistake. I think, to be honest, Caramel can just stop them from backing, and this could be an inhibitor take for Barrage.
He's just stopping them from recalling. ADM goes to the play, but can't get the chains, and that's what I'm talking about. There is still that potential, but it's very hard to find. Jakamaka chunked out, but right now, Barrage is just pushing.
Yeah, that's essentially 2 turrets for a mistake to committing to that bottom side of the map. Jakamaka maybe needs some lifesteal in this build at some point.
He has the red buff. It's going to be able to heal him up.
There we go.
And he has Witness Runes. I think now he's fine, and this 1-3-1 is going to be very hard for Phelan to deal with. Super Baroned up minions in all 3 lanes. And the thing is, it's just so hard to find anyone to engage. There's no real engage from Phelan. It's all about pick. You land a hook, or you land a cocoon, or the LeBlanc lands a chain.
Ooh, that's a single crit from Jakamaka.
Yeah, that's
Does
a lot.
about a 1/6 of a choose HP. That's a bot lane tower going down. No one defending versus Caramel right now, who's also in a strong position, fully stacked Rod of Ages. There's the ultimate coming out. Where's it coming from Scudzy? Just using it to buy time to go for this middle inhibitor turret. Doesn't actually want to use it on anybody in specific. As Caramel pushing onto this inhibitor, goes down to a Baron minion. Caramel gets out with the E, and this is school play for Barrage.
Yeah, they just have complete control of this game, and there really feels like there isn't much Phelan can do. When you have a composition like this, where you have the snowball champions, like the Olaf, like the Elise, like the LeBlanc, and they get nowhere, it's just not going to go well. And Ruggen almost going down. He's nearly error gone.
Aha! I was wondering how long it would take you to slip that one into this game as Barrage,
back once again.
24 minutes into the game, have knocked down all but 1 inhibitor in the Phelan base, and Phelan really never found themselves in a position to contest anything that Barrage have done on the map, but specifically that bottom side. But Barrage have looked so good. I think Caramel ults himself there, as I think.
No, he ulted the ADM, but ADM Mercs managed to get out. Oh, and Bartrain wants to jump out. They're not even phased. They take all 3 inhibitors. They're going to head to the Dragon, pick up that Infernal, and then they're just going to reset and push in with the Super Minions. And I feel like Phelan have to try and go for something. I think you just have to look for any window, any opportunity, any slight
There has to be
advantage.
some sort of... You have to hook Jakamaka, kill Jakamaka, hope that the assailant doesn't get ulted by Caramel.
I was about to say, that is the way they win. But he did just pick up a QSS, but then sold it and got the Vamp Scepter. So that's a weird decision to me. I would have rated him getting like the sort of on-use I want defensive right now. But he opts for the Vamp Scepter, wants to sustain. So there is still an opportunity. If you land that hook on to Jakamaka, and this is Blaze's signature champion. It hasn't looked great this game, but there's a reason it's his signature champion, and he has to find that game-making play. But Lantern comes down, but they block it, and crucially, Soft will fall. And now Blaze.
Oh, so close to Caramel getting the ult. That's the ult onto him as he gets rooted up, or even gets rooted there. Scudzy goes over the wall, onto Blaze, trying to get the final hit onto him. He will go down, and Jakamaka on fleek as he goes in on that AD carry. Huge offensive play, and everything that Aragon is doing will be in vain. That'll be another kill going over to Barrage, and they should be very quickly able to end the game.
And it's just a dominant performance from Barrage. This is a matchup I thought would be a lot closer, but Barrage, we're not pulling punches here and just destroy Phelan.
That was dominant from Barrage. 13k gold lead at the end. I definitely didn't say that that Jakamaka was on fleek when he jumped in. I don't know what I said. It was just like rolling off the tongue. Anyway, Barrage, they're going to find themselves in our draw for tomorrow, where they will join Enclave, potentially in a semi-final. If not, we might see one of them in the final. But this has been a wild week so far at the UKLC. I believe I saw a tweet come up from Prosfair during that game.
Yes,
don't know if you got a chance to read it, but I think if we get it up on screen again, it was quite funny. So here we go. People don't realize the reason we lost both of our games was an intentional throw, so we didn't have to face Barrage in the finals and get crushed in 17 minutes.
That's a fair one.
That's a fair. I mean, I respect that, Prosfair. I respect it. I wouldn't want to get crushed by Barrage. They look like they're playing insane.
It's the fact his brother is on the team as well. You don't want to get crushed by his brother.
It's a pride thing, of course.
Yeah, I mean, testament to Barrage, they played that really well, and as I've said constantly through that game, it no longer looks like they have a weak link. Their bot lane really showed up, so solid play from them. Question marks still for Phelan. They've had question marks throughout. They made a change for the support. He got his signature champion. He went 0-5-0. That wasn't the change that is going to make them good. They still need to just ask themselves, why are they just not coordinated? They seem to have no real identity. They went for sort of an early game composition, but then just never found the momentum. They just don't seem to have a grasp on what they need to do to win, and it's starting to get worrying because we're getting later and later into the season, and they are getting further and further away from contesting these playoff spots. When Enclave and Barrage are playing so well, Phelan really have to step up now. Next week they have to come in strong, or it might just be over for them.
We have an MVP, I believe I was told. I want to double check it's Bartiono. So Bartiono was our MVP for this game. 009 did really good in terms of setting up those plays in the bot lane, facilitated Jakamaka to do so well on that AD carry, and I was thoroughly impressed with this Galio that game.
Well, yeah, I think the whole bot lane as a whole was
I wish we could MVP both bot lanes.
I wish we could, but I've got to give credit to them both. Bartiono really stepping up, and again, they've had criticism. They've proved it was wrong.
Yeah, and Bartiono definitely playing well with Jakamaka, something that he was very vocal about wanting in terms of the way that Barrage was shaping up as a team. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now halfway through the night. I know we've had 3 games, but we had that defense game right at the start, so we are halfway through the night. We have got 2 more round of 8s to come. The next one will be spicy. It is going to be Diabolus taking on XL, which, given the way XL played last week, could be a very, very close matchup.
Absolutely. I mean, I came into the previous week saying Diabolus might be sort of the LEC sister team killer, thinking they would be the first to take down XL Fnatic. And obviously that's been proved completely wrong, and both of them are not looking unkillable anymore, but I have high hopes for Diabolus. XL have been inconsistent. They've had some great performances. That week 1 was just stellar. I mean, even though they fell behind against Fnatic, they managed to win it out. And then from then, it's been sometimes good, sometimes not good. It's been very mixed.
Well, Orcs has got some special roster news for XL once we get into that game, but don't go anywhere. We have a storming matchup between Diabolus and XL. We'll be back soon.